Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, look at, make fun of stuff. Today we have Savannah Hernandez. She is a street reporter, journalist. Nightmare City, how Portland's decriminalization of hard drugs destroyed the city. So let's go take a look at the shithole they call Portland.
Hey guys, this is Savannah Hernandez reporting to you from Portland because I wanted to come check in on the city that has made news several times for its homelessness, open drug use, and of course soft on crime policies. Now back in 2020, they passed Measure 110 in the state of Oregon, which basically decriminalized hard drugs. So let's go check in and see how the city is doing 2 years post-measure. Do you live here in Portland? Tell us about yourself.
I came here about 5 years ago, just trying to get away from where I was.
So when they decriminalize it, does that mean that it's still illegal to sell it, but you can't get in trouble for just having it? Is that how it works?
Before COVID, I got clean down here with CCC. It was pretty cool. And then COVID hit, and I lost my house and my job, and I came back to the streets because that's what I know.
Can I ask you, what's this hanging on your neck?
This is my tutor for smoking heroin or fentanyl.
So talk to me a little bit about that, because I have heard that, heroin and fentanyl use is a big thing in Portland. Back in 2020, they decriminalized hard drugs. Can you talk to me about your experience?
This guy's repping his drug use with a necklace next to his cross. What the?
With that.
I didn't really notice a change because downtown people have been using, pretty much whenever, wherever they wanted for a long time. If anything, it's freed up the police from petty stuff like that to the major things, but it still hasn't solved the problem. The problem is not having any safe injection sites or having any place safe for people to use to go. You can't even go to the bathroom here anywhere because they don't want people doing drugs in the bathroom. If they don't want people doing drugs in the bathroom, give them a place to do drugs. It's pretty simple.
And can we get a little bit personal with you, just because I'm not familiar with heroin, but kind of talk to us about the drug a little bit, and I guess why you use as well. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I think everybody that does opiates has a little part of them that wants to die. It goes with the territory. If you're going to do opiates, you're going to die at least once. Last year I died 3 times.
Have you seen anyone die on the streets here because of fentanyl overdose specifically, or?
Personally, I have not seen a fentanyl overdose myself. Last year on my birthday, I helped administer CPR to somebody who had a heroin overdose, but I haven't had any personal experience with fentanyl overdose, and I do it every day. I have a couple on here at a time. Oops. If you smoke like I smoke, you get high like every day. Warren G, shout out.
That is
Ow!
crazy,
And of course the
bro.
wind is my fucking worst enemy, so I gotta have a trusty torch. So let me keep it going.
I don't understand how they get the money for it. Not that I know how much that shit costs, but
God is good.
So I wanted to take you guys on a quick walk
God
of
is
downtown
good.
Portland.
oh god, our world is fallen. He literally just took a hit of fentanyl and said, God is good.
To give you an idea of what the streets look like here. Now, on top of the homeless
Wow.
camping out on these sidewalks, some of their encampments so intricate that they actually have walls and a door. We also have rampant drug use. We've seen people using heroin, fentanyl. These streets smell like human feces and urine. And of course, we have witnessed a couple crimes here as well. Have you seen people using drugs out here on the streets of Portland?
Yes, all day long. Shooting up in the middle of it, smoking it, 3 blocks down, selling it. Right here's another one, mental health now after, for meth and everything.
Okay, so what's happening right here is, I guess, this gentleman just walked out of this store behind me. The business owner had a pint of ice cream that I think he was trying to take thrown at her. She just took the pint back into the store. So, sir, going back to what we just witnessed, I think we actually just almost watched a potential robbery. Is this just a normal thing here in Portland?
Yes, a bunch of mental health just right down here in Chinatown.
Did he just try to steal from your business? What happened?
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
I go into this store almost every other day, and he went in there. He's got over $1,000 on his food card. He got some energy drinks, but then on the way out, he grabbed an ice cream and tried to steal it. So I helped the store owners out and chased him down.
He walked out and he took it out one ice cream he steals. So my other customer, she saw, she go get it, try get it, but he throw away the ice cream. We got it bad.
Does that happen a lot?
Lot.
How many times a week?
Almost every day, couple times like that.
Wait, so you're saying almost every day, a couple
A
times?
couple of times, this poor lady has to just suck it up and, you know what I mean? Small business owner, you just have to give away stuff every day. That's crazy.
Times a day someone comes in here and tries to steal from you.
Yeah.
And that's just normal?
Just the normal.
Is that the first time you've seen something like that over here?
No,
No.
it's not.
I'm from Texas, so I'm trying to show people what's really going on here in Portland. Is that an everyday occurrence?
Maybe every other day. Probably from
She
this.
said, no, not every day, but every other day. Holy shit.
Or if you talk to the owners, they deal with it a lot.
Have you seen people using hard drugs on the streets of Portland here?
Every day, all day, you name it, I've
about
seen it.
That's
People
funny.
used to hide, tried to find places that were out of the way, and so they weren't seen doing the drugs. And now that they've decriminalized it, it's like they do it everywhere. They're rolling bubbles, shooting up, smoking their fentanyl.
All right, y'all, so what is happening behind me is a gentleman just OD'd on heroin. We called the police to try to help him out. A bike police officer just rolled up, and we're trying to get this man help. Again, there's a needle right next to him. Another homeless woman came up and was digging through his pockets to, what she says, try to look for the drugs that he was potentially on, but we're trying to get this gentleman help behind me. It's about 4 p.m. in downtown Portland, and this is the scene.
I just saw her going through his pockets and taking his stuff out of his pockets. I don't know what she got though. I was just getting off the bus and was headed up this
Oh,
way.
you know she's robbing.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Oh yeah, lots. It goes on a lot down here.
Can you talk to us about what just happened?
So it looks like he overdosed. So with drug decriminalization, usually what I can do is I can give him a citation and give him references for drug treatment, but I can't arrest him anymore and kind of force any treatment upon them. So this is how it's been going downtown. Drugs are pretty prevalent. We have a lot of people who say they come down here because of the availability of drugs.
Is this the normal everyday scene on the streets of Portland? People
People overdosing? Yes. Yeah, several times a day we have people overdosing. It was worse in the summer. It's not as much right now,
Holy.
but there were days where it would be.
It's crazy like how normal this is to everybody. They're like, oh yeah, junkies? Oh yeah. Yeah, you just step over them. Walk around them. What the?
I mean, you'd have 4 or 5 people overdosing almost at a time in a couple block radius.
So it seems like this man is moving. Can you walk us through what they're currently doing for him right now?
No, because I don't know.
Not sure.
No, with the paramedics, I just know that they're helping him out. They're probably giving him Narcan, take his vitals, see if he wants to go to the hospital. But you will also have a lot of these people who don't want to go to the hospital, even after they're advised, like, you really need to go to the hospital, get checked out? They'll say no, they don't want to go.
Since the decriminalization of hard drugs in 2020, has this situation gotten worse, or is it about the same?
Well, I think it's gotten worse because it used to be before, it wasn't as prevalent. It wasn't as out in the open. Now it seems just more out in the open.
So this is the scene where just moments ago, a gentleman was overdosing from what the authorities said was a fentanyl-related overdose. This is a classic scene here on the streets of Portland. We were just speaking to an officer who shared that this is an everyday occurrence. And of course, the people who were passing by were...
What's scary about that fentanyl is that first guy in the beginning, I mean, he was smoking it like nobody's business, but he's built up like a tolerance to it. The problem is when you don't have a tolerance to hard drugs like that, can't fentanyl like, doesn't it like OD cops and stuff that just barely touch it? And if they're just all like, who's to say there's not some on the ground right there somewhere? You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy.
Stopping to make sure this gentleman was okay, but it wasn't a shocking scene to them. On top of the man overdosing, another homeless person started trying to pickpocket him as it was happening. We had firefighters and police officers show up. He's since been taken to the hospital. All right, so we were actually walking past two gentlemen who were about to smoke fentanyl. I noticed the foil. I actually asked them if I could see the fentanyl they were about to smoke, and they went ahead and showed me. Here with Tara, who's a Portland resident. Tara, I just wanted to speak with you about what it's like living here in Portland. I mean, talk to us about your city.
I would say that my neighborhood is quite a bit safer than other people's, but everyone's on edge. There are people who have crawled into homes.
How do they get the $400 tents? Some of these tents are nicer than my tent.
During the day in my neighborhood, through the windows when their children were home. People's cars just disappear, so everyone's just really tense and afraid that it's going to be them next. And next door, the app is a mess. People just say, "Oh, it's my turn," my turn to have my car disappear, or to find somebody inside of my house. People steal cars with children inside of them here as well. Like, it's happened multiple times where someone either turned around to go, get something from their car before coming back out and driving their kid somewhere, or got out of their vehicle and had it idling, and it just gets driven away with the child inside of it.
As a Portland resident, you've been talking to me about some of the crime that you've experienced here in the city. You were mentioning the license plates and how you've seen people drive around without license plates at all. Can you talk to me about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so in the city of Portland, they've decided that enforcing traffic laws is racist, and that it benefits people of color to not enforce them. What that means is that you can be speeding, you can be driving without a license plate, and there'll be no one will stop you for doing that. I witnessed a catalytic converter theft in front of my house. It was in the middle of the day, like maybe 2 p.m., and I was sitting outside, and I just saw these people stealing our neighbor's catalytic converter, and of course they were in a car with no license plate. But I see people driving without them all the time.
Now, the homeless issue in Portland has gotten so bad that even Mayor Ted Wheeler is considering creating specific sanctioned homeless camping areas that are going to house upwards of 500 people each. The homeless issue is now spreading into suburban Portland. You go to people's neighborhoods and you will see the tents pitched up all around their neighborhoods. It's becoming such a problem that even Mayor Wheeler is having to address it now. So we're near the Hawthorne Bridge here in Portland, and we happened upon this actually quite large homeless encampment, as you guys can see behind us. This was an entire building that was created with wood. Members of Rapid Response BioClean Portland are here tearing it down. They said that this is something that they do 5 days a week, and this is a very common scene here of just coming in, cleaning up these homeless encampments. Now, this is also the same company that recently fired one of their employees after he took a video of how many needles they're cleaning up off the streets of Portland every single day. So I've been in Portland for the past 3 days because I really have wanted to give you an inside and on the ground look of what the streets of Portland really look like. Now, we're in an area that's close.
I'm just kind of dumbfounded by this. It's just crazy. The amount of delusion you need to think that this is how society is supposed to operate and this is what's best. Did you see that was like 20 trash cans full, and that was from the day.
close to the Pearl, which is supposed to be a pretty nice area of Portland, or typically was. But as you guys can see behind me, we do have those encampments littering the streets. And then we turn down this way, it's the exact same view. I've been walking throughout downtown Portland because I have been trying to really get the full picture of what we're seeing on the streets here. Drug, crimes, homelessness. It really is potentially worse than the media is actually painting it to be. Even Ted Wheeler thinking about proposing a homeless ban, if you will. He's wanting to make sanctioned camping.
So do the homeless like sleep all day and stay up at night? Because like as she's walking around, like all the homeless are like camped out, like sleeping.
Sections where they're going to be housing upwards of 500 people in 3 separate homeless encampment areas. So Mayor Ted Wheeler thinking about doing that as, again, homelessness ravages this once beautiful city.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by the channel. That is Savannah Hernandez. She does a rapid fire podcast. She's on Truth and Rumble. All right, guys, appreciate you stopping by the channel. Brought to you by McClure's.store. If you want to buy American products to help American families, McClure's.store. Take care.